Welcome to the 805 Web Minute, and today we're talking about why a 3-second delay on your website could be costing you thousands in crucial last-minute tourist bookings.
Yeah, we're really honing in on that, that central corridor of tourism, San Luis Obispo County, SLO, as we all call it, where every single minute really counts.
It's all about speed, isn't it? You have tourists driving up or down Highway 1, and they're looking for these immediate, spontaneous experiences.
Exactly. They aren't pre-planning for months. They are acting on impulse.
And those impulses, they hold incredible value. Just picture it. A family's driving north past Pismo Beach. They see a sign for surf lessons, or maybe they're just south of Morro Bay, and the tide looks perfect for kayaking.
Right.
That decision window, that moment of spontaneous search, that's where $2.4 billion in annual tourism spending in SLO County often lands. We're talking about capturing revenue that moves at the speed of a phone.
It really is the difference between being visible and, being invisible. If your business, whether you're running wine tours in Paso or a small hotel near Hearst Castle, isn't ready for that immediate on-the-spot booking,
they're gone.
The customer just instantly goes to the competition. The data confirms it. For tourism, mobile isn't just an option anymore. It's the default.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. When we say mobile is the default, what does that really look like in pure numbers? We have to get past this idea of someone planning their trip on a laptop.
The shift it's just undeniable. Our sources show a really powerful trend. 73% of travelers prefer booking local experiences on their phones.
Wow, 73%.
Yeah, they're standing at the pier, sitting at a scenic overlook, or maybe pulled over on the side of the road near AG, Arroyo Grande, and they are ready to transact. That's 3 out of 4 people just bypassing the desktop completely.
And even if they don't book right then and there, the research phase is all on the phone, right?
Oh, absolutely. We know that 83% of travelers research their trips using their phones first. So if that mobile experience is frustrating, if it's slow or confusing.
They never even get to the point of checking it out later on a desktop. You've lost them already.
You've lost them. And what's also key here is how short the planning window itself is getting. The time between thought and action is just shrinking.
So people are deciding things on the fly.
Completely. We see that 27% of all travel bookings now happen within just 7 days of the trip. That figure just screams, the infamous 3-second test. This is the point of failure for, I would say, the vast majority of local tourism sites. It's not about fancy features or expensive design. It's just raw utility and speed.
Especially here with our, sometimes spotty cell coverage.
Exactly. And the problem is massive. We see that over half, 53% of potential mobile visitors will just leave if your page takes more than 3 seconds to load.
Just think about that. You've spent all this time and money to get them to your site, and half of them disappear before they even see your business name.
And that consequence shows up directly in your bank account. It shows up in your conversion rates. Our research shows that websites that load in just 1 second have conversion rates 2.5 times higher than sites that take 5 seconds.
2.5 times.
Yes. That 4-second difference can literally be the factor that doubles your successful bookings. That is a measurable result that demands attention.
That's a staggering number. So let's dig in a bit. What is the cause? Let's move past just saying big pictures. Why do so many tourism websites here in SLO County fail this simple speed test? What's the real non-jargon issue?
Well, the problem isn't usually the core web host itself. It's the assets being loaded onto the page. You already hit on the main culprit, large, high-resolution photos.
Right.
A business owner wants their beautiful Marl Rock vista or their vineyard sunset to look crystal clear. But if that image file is, say, 5 megabytes, it's going to absolutely cripple the load speed, especially on a 4G connection.
I get the desire for beauty, of course, but there has to be a balance. So what are the practical solutions for this trade-off?
You have to use methods that manage the load. One powerful, though a little technical, fix is called lazy loading. It basically means the browser only loads the photos you can see on the screen first.
So that beautiful image of a kayak 10 scrolls down the page.
It only loads when the user actually gets close to it. This dramatically improves that critical initial load time, the time that has to be under 3 seconds. We also use next-gen image formats, like WebP, which gives you higher quality at a much smaller file size than old JPEGs. It's technical work, but it's foundational.
That is a great insight. It's not just about shrinking the photo, it's about changing when it appears. So what's the second big killer of mobile speed?
The booking tools. So many businesses use these great third-party booking systems, but a lot of them were designed for a desktop computer 5 years ago. They're just heavy.
They're clunky.
Very clunky. They often load in what's called an iframe, which is like loading a website within your website, and it just drags the whole process down. They prioritize features over pure speed. That initial widget load often pushes you way past the 3-second limit.
So let's say we solve the speed issue, but getting them there fast doesn't matter if once they arrive, they can't find what they need instantly. How do we make sure that speed translates into an actual conversion?
You have to think about that urgency. We know that 72% of mobile travel bookings happen within 48 hours of the search.
48 hours.
Yeah. Tourists search, they find, and they book. It's a rapid succession. They do not want friction, confusion, or any kind of delay.
So as a business owner, what does that well-prepared mobile checklist look like? Let's focus on just absolute clarity and ease.
Okay, first, the site has to load in under 3 seconds. That's non-negotiable. Second, your critical action points, your buttons, must be immediately visible without any scrolling.
So if you offer a tour, the Book Now link should be right where your thumb can reach it.
The moment the page opens. If you're a hotel, the phone number and the availability link have to be front and center.
I see so many sites where the phone number is buried in the footer. You have to scroll all the way down, and when someone is driving or standing on a busy street, they need it now.
Exactly. And that contact point has to be perfectly functional. That means the phone number needs to be tap to call enabled. If a user taps the number on their phone and the dialer doesn't pop up,
That's a broken flow. You've lost them.
you've likely lost that impatient customer. Yes.
What about the clarity around pricing and availability?
This is a huge one. This is where operators lose ground when people are comparing options. Tourists are rapidly checking, say, 3 different surf shops in Pismo. If they have to click through 3 separate pages just to find the price of a lesson or to see if 10 a.m. is open.
They'll just abandon you for the competitor whose site is clear.
The one where the pricing and the calendar are right there, transparent and easy. Clarity saves time, and saving time on mobile equals conversion.
That makes perfect sense. Now let's shift to the top of the funnel. How do people even find you when they're driving through AG or Cambria? They're using what we call local intent.
This is probably the single biggest opportunity for local businesses, and it's often overlooked. 46% of all Google searches now have some form of local intent.
So they're not just typing wine tours.
No, they're typing wine tasting near me, Paso Robles, or kayak rental Morro Bay. This is purchasing intent with a location attached to it.
They're not just browsing. They are ready to pull out their wallet. How do we make sure our local businesses win those hyper-local, high-value searches?
You need a hyper-local strategy. It's built around 3 simple keys. First, the foundation. You must have a claimed and meticulously updated Google Business Profile, your GBP.
Okay.
This profile is what feeds the map results, the local pack,
Yeah.
all that primary info. Current hours, specific services, it all has to be dead-on accurate. Google prioritizes reliability.
And the second key is all about trust, right? Which is something we get here on the Central Coast. Word of mouth is everything.
And online, trust is quantified by reviews. Our data shows 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation from their neighbor.
That's powerful.
It is. If you're a new tour operator with, say, 12 reviews, and the established guy has 150, the person with a 150 is getting the click, even if your tour is better.
I agree reviews are crucial, but what if a small operator just doesn't have that volume? How does someone with 12 reviews really compete with 150?
Great question. You focus on quality, recency, and your response. Google really cares about how recent your reviews are. 100 reviews from 3 years ago carry less weight than 20 new reviews from the last 3 months.
And responding to them matters.
Critically, you must respond to every single review, good or bad. Responding shows Google and the customer that you're actively managing your customer experience. It builds enormous trust.
And I bet the third key ties right back to where we started, speed.
Absolutely. A fast, functional mobile website is a direct local search ranking factor. Google does not want to recommend a business, only to have the user click and get a 10-second loading screen.
Because that poor experience reflects badly on Google.
Exactly. So if your site is slow, your local visibility suffers, no matter how many reviews you have.
Okay, we've gotten people to the site, we're ranking locally. Now let's talk about that final, just heartbreaking step, keeping them there through the checkout. This is where so many sales are lost, right at the finish line.
This is the abandonment rate nightmare. Our sources show a shocking 81% of all online travel bookings are abandoned before payment is processed.
81%. That's 4 out of every 5 potential sales just vanishing.
They just disappear. And on mobile, that rate can be even higher because the frustrations just compound.
So what are the specific friction points that cause that incredible 81% abandonment rate, especially when someone's on a small device?
It's almost always tied to the user experience of the booking widget itself. We already talked about slowness, but let's talk about utility. First, the calendar or the date picker. If a tourist is using their thumb, maybe holding a coffee in their other hand, and they have to zoom in, pinch, or try 3 times to select a tiny little date square,
They're going to bail. The back button is too easy.
it's the easiest way out. Another huge friction point is the redirect. If the booking link kicks the user out of your beautiful, clean website and into some clunky external payment portal with a totally different look,
It breaks trust. It feels sketchy.
it feels disjointed, exactly. And finally, asking for too much data up front. Don't ask for their home address before they've even confirmed the tour time. Minimalism wins on mobile.
That's a great set of insights. So let's make this really actionable for the business owners listening. I challenge you to test your own booking process, but let's make the test harder than just clicking through it at your desk.
I agree. Business owners, go grab an older phone, a 5-year-old iPhone, an old Android, and try to complete a full booking on your cellular network, not your fast office Wi-Fi.
Right.
Can you select the date, enter your info, and finalize payment in under 60 seconds without getting frustrated or needing to zoom? If that's frustrating for you, imagine how it feels for a tourist with bad signal in a remote part of SLO County. That's the bar you have to clear.
That test really is preventative maintenance for your business. And that brings us to timing, which is so crucial for us here on the Central Coast because of our peak seasons.
The seasonal element is everything for your cash flow. For a lot of operators, from the AG Farm Trail stops to the Pismo Surf shops, the prime revenue window is May through October. For others, maybe whale watching, it's December through April. But the principle is the same. You get one shot at your peak revenue.
And what's the financial pain when businesses aren't ready for that season?
The pain is discovering a critical website failure, like a broken mobile calendar in the middle of June. If you're a kayak rental company, your daily revenue in June could be, what, $1,500?
At least.
So losing 3 weeks of prime bookings while you wait for a fix means you've lost $30,000 or $40,000 in revenue that you can never get back in the off-season. You have to test your readiness in April.
Which brings us right back to that trade-off between beauty and speed. We sell stunning visuals, but those unoptimized photos can be a seasonal revenue killer.
Exactly. The source material confirms that tension. Tourism sells on images, the vineyards, the rugged coastline. But high-quality, uncompressed photos mean huge file sizes, which means slow loading, which kills conversions.
So the solution isn't to use bad photos. It's to use professional optimization to manage the load.
Precisely. You implement techniques like compressing images while keeping them looking good, sizing them correctly for mobile screens, and using those modern formats. We also use techniques to make sure the bare bones of the page, the critical text, the booking button load instantly before that big, beautiful hero image even appears.
So you're prioritizing function over form in those first 3 seconds.
That's the key.
Yeah.
And that really brings us to the overall conversion opportunity here in SLO County. There's a wide gap that local businesses can exploit right now.
A gap. How so?
The gap is huge because the average mobile travel conversion rate is, frankly, an abysmal 0.7%. Compare that to desktop conversion rates, which are around 2.4% more than 3 times higher.
Wow. And that difference exists just because mobile sites are generally poorly done.
Largely, yes. They're too slow, too confusing, and too frustrating to use.
So what does this mean mathematically for a business owner listening in Avila Beach or Cambria?
Okay, let's model it simply. Let's say you run a small tour and you get 1,000 unique mobile visitors a month. At a certain 0.7% conversion rate, that's only 7 bookings.
7. Okay.
But if you solve the speed and friction issues we talked about, and you lift that conversion rate to just 2.4%, the desktop average, you now have 24 successful bookings. That's 17 more sales.
Yeah.
Every
Yes.
single month, simply because you invested in speed and clarity. That gap is direct revenue you are leaving on the table right now.
It's not about finding more customers. It's about making sure the customers who already found you can actually buy from you. Focus on pure speed, crystal clarity, and a booking process that isn't frustrating. That's how you win.
And here's the provocative thought for you to explore. Every time a tourist leaves your SLO site for a competitor, you don't just lose that $100 booking. You lose the opportunity for their review, their repeat business next year, and their positive word-of-mouth recommendation to their entire network. The real cost of a SLO mobile site just compounds.
That's the quick tip for today. If you want a professional website without the agency price tag or the DIY headache, Here is the better way. At ugrow.pro, we build it, we manage it, and we handle every update for Everall for just $79 a month. There is zero setup fee, no contract lock-in, and it is strictly month-to-month, so there is zero risk. We're local here in AG, and we can have you live in days, not months. Want to see what your site could look like? Go to ugrow.pro right now, and we'll design 3 custom mockups for your business completely free, no strings attached. Thanks for listening, and keep growing.